like, okay, well, but they've been saying forever, oh, you can't breed with animals, you can't. And it's like, well, but who's trying?
Well, that's the thing is when you look at a lot of art that people are pointing out in ancient art, there's a lot of half human, half animal hybrids in it. And you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it as this is this sort of paranoid fantasy that people have of what would it be like if people could breed with animals, or it's this other sort of.
Johnny, we're on.
I do.
Yeah, it's
You're not on audio yet. Wait, hold on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to-
No, it's all right.
We ready?
We're ready.
We rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay,
Should we
Laura,
go on this
pop
side?
on over here.
No, you use the-
Johnny, you pop over there. This is how we do it here, Laura. We're very professional.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're super professional with our opening and our introductions.
Yeah.
Oh,
We are on that.
yeah, we're,
Hold on. Let me get
yeah, I
the
can see it.
theme song loaded.
And you're welcome to a cigarette if you were looking for one.
Might get one later.
Now, yeah, wait for the call. Wait for the call. Theme music.
Burger.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Iron Burger Podcast. We got one of our usual suspects, Mr. John Mark Owens. Man.
Almost late for work.
Talmo, well, see, Talmo breaks the stereotype in the sense that he's this Nordic German dude, and he is never on time.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. And we
Well, it's
have-
the Italian in him.
But we don't care because we got a
Yeah,
special
exactly.
guest. We got a special guest, Laura Crawford.
That's right.
And
He's sexy as a German and timely as an Italian.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's a
that.
bad
I don't.
combo.
Yeah, that is the worst bad combo.
Man.
That I would save that for the toast battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's hysterical. You did great on that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
I
you were
stepped on my
hysterical.
own. I stepped on my own intro, making fun of someone else. That's how dedicated I am to this craft.
Right? That's funny though. I loved it. Yeah, you just.
Oh,
It
thank
was
you.
Phil Gould, right?
Yes, Phil
Oh, he's
Gould and I
great.
were toasting each other, and I thought Phil was really gonna rip me because he started off really a lot of zings right up
Mm-hmm.
top when we got on stage before it even had started. So I'm like, man, Phil is gonna tear me open, and he was rather complimentary. He was genuinely complimentary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He almost. Yeah. Well, Phil, I don't know that he has a lot of mean in him.
Yeah,
I mean, he probably has a dungeon at his home. You know, and
he's really into that cat.
Yeah, he. Oh well, that's Phil's a
Yeah.
great guy.
Yeah, he's a
He-
sweetheart.
And yeah, too nice though. Like,
Well,
yeah.
It was a little not a toothful tearing apart.
I
I guess,
don't-
but
I don't
It was supposed
like
to be
when people
nice.
do
It was,
nice.
it was supposed to be kind of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like overly nice.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
Very. I like people that are just kind of like, whatever with everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And Johnny, what are you doing way over there, buddy? Come join us, man.
I know.
Johnny, those are great shorts, man.
I mean,
They're
some
cut off dickies.
Isn't that
They're-
great when a man wears ankle socks?
They're like,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
pretty great.
mismatching
Fucking
ankle
fantastic.
socks.
Ooh.
That
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Well, I
man.
realize that the niceness is often just as much a defensivist thing as being mean to people all the time.
Uh-huh.
Because it's just people who really want everyone to like them. You know what I mean? And it's like, you get it to the point where you realize it's more compulsion than anything else, and they're not even really sometimes aware of it, that they're doing it. They're just like, this is how people act. This is how I have to
Yeah.
act. Because if I don't, then my whole life's going to fall apart.
That's funny. It's almost in everything he said. All I heard was Jeff Carnasales, who I love. Jeff's one of my favorite people, good
Yeah.
friend of mine. But yeah, but that's the thing is, and I always say, I don't like people. Now, I don't think people are mean. I don't think, they're not nice to me. I don't want to be around them. No.
Yeah.
I genuinely really don't like people for more than a minute, and I can't change it. Nothing, there's the people I get along with and have a great time with. And those, but other than that, I really am someone who doesn't like people, and I don't want them to like me, and I don't want them to be my, I don't want them to hate me.
Yeah.
I just want to be, hey, how you doing? And great to see you, and chit-chatty, and move
Yeah.
on.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
My burger experience has been exactly that. Like, I met Burger before we started working together. He came into the cafe.
Yeah.
And it was like he'd come into the cafe and use my internet for cheap.
Yes.
And it was great. Like, not even a cup of tea, like just small coffee. I love
yeah.
that. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I would do
and,
it.
And it was
One
like
black, small
always like,
coffee.
it was just, this guy's antisocial.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
if you meet someone new and you find that they like everybody and they like you, that's totally meaningless. But if someone hates everyone and they like you, that means a lot more.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, and genuinely, when I meet people, I'm always pleasant. I'm never like,
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, hey,
Hey.
nice to meet you. I'm David, da-da-da. And very friendly and
Yeah.
open. It's just, I don't have time to hang out. I don't have time.
Yeah.
Don't text me something I have to reply to more than once.
Yeah.
You know, with any sort of lengthiness, because I just told them earlier about the memes. You know, I'm like, look, they're doing memes back and forth on the fucking podcast board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Because I don't even know what we're doing now, because all I'm looking at is people shitting on
Because
toilets.
he can't
you know?
read 8 messages up.
Yeah.
8 messages.
I don't need to do
it's
that.
not like 40. It's
Yeah.
like
It's a
8.
podcast.
It's like we're restrained adults. We're not
Yeah.
teenagers with it. If it was teenagers, it'd be like 300.
If
Yeah.
it was teenagers, it would be understandable. But no. So okay. So
That's true, but
so one of the things I want to talk to you about today. Now, I don't know if you're political at all.
Yeah, I'm a bit political. I worked in political offices and stuff, and nonprofits, and one campaign, and then I minored in political science.
So a bit. Okay. So
yeah.
you got some
Yeah, a
knowledge.
little bit.
Okay,
I mean, I
like
fell
that.
off in the last couple of years. I think after the last election, presidential election, I really fell off of politics. But I used to watch it all the time, and that used to be the big focus of, like, you know.
Yeah, well,
my
we
viewing
carried on for a
experiences.
long time pretending like the vote mattered, and I thought it was fun. You know, it was
Yeah.
fun for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18, I was excited.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then I realized, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, once you
But-
get into it, you see things like redistricting and
Yeah.
gerrymandering and the Voter Rights Act and all this
Just-
stuff.
And how
Electoral
some, Yeah, and how
college.
some
Yeah.
elected people are really
Yeah.
voting for us. You
Yeah.
know, and then it's like, you know, you get the electoral college, the
well,
whole
the
thing.
electoral college is the thing because it pissed me off more than anything because it means some asshole in North Carolina has 14 times the presidential vote as me.
Yes.
And that is fucked up.
Yeah.
Because one, you're from North Carolina, so you should have less of a vote.
Yeah.
2, I'm from LA. I should have way more of a vote.
Well,
Yeah,
anyone-
they shouldn't even
count
have
more.
pencils.
Like,
I mean,
Well, the
no, it
operation-
shouldn't. It should
My
all count
SAT
equally, 1 to
scores-
1. Yeah.
I think it varies because for me it's like the people who are directly affected by government more in action are people who live in cities because you're more dependent on government services and there's more direct government involvement in your lives. And I feel like it's ridiculous to say that people who live in Wyoming have as much. They're obviously going to be more anti-government. They don't have the government involved as much, doing as much good in their lives or servicing them in the same way. It's ridiculous that it's like equal like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
when
think
you
about that?
own 14 acres or whatever,
Yeah.
and most of the roads you drive on are your own roads,
Yeah.
it's like easy to say fuck the government.
Yeah, or fuck taxes.
You know, but
Yeah.
when it's like when you live in the city and you need the fucking subway there,
Yeah.
it's like it's a lot more
Yeah,
likely.
and then I think LA was reading up on this that LA gets the least for its dollar on city services.
That's
than
right.
Any other city in the
Yeah.
country.
Well, that's why we should
and
be
and we're
states.
California,
Yeah.
so we get the least for our dollar
Yeah.
of any other states.
In
And-
states like California, in all the northern states and all the states that vote blue or Democrat or whatever, they're the ones who their get tax revenue that prop up all these other states. They're all
That's right.
welfare queens.
We do.
It's
We
ridiculous.
pay
Yeah.
for the
No, it's so
entire
true.
flyover country.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why
yeah.
it's like
Yeah. It's
And
so
do we
true.
ever get it? Thank you.
Well,
Not
no, the
ever.
whole reason.
No, we
this
just- no, we
brings
give
up the
showing
best
up.
idea.
Yeah.
Because I've got a solution.
What?
I really have a solution to
A
this.
6-state solution.
I was
The
gonna say, I think Hitler had the
solution
same
is
solution,
a bunch
but
of
go on.
bulldozers.
Yeah,
at
here we
the-
go.
The head of the Gulf of California.
Okay.
And we just start digging that river
Yeah.
between California. We dig the Rio, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just now hi Arizona. You guys over the water there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Nevada. How you guys doing? The rest of
Oh, yeah.
America. And just arm up and be California.
Yeah.
We don't
I-
even need arms. What are they
Well-
going to do? They're going to come shoot us? Seriously.
What are they going to do? Not watch TV?
I mean,
we just
really.
threaten them with
Like,
fucking.
Yeah.
They
we're
would
gonna
die.
cut off
Yeah.
your internet
Yeah.
and your
No-
television.
yeah. No more Big Bang
Fuck
Theory.
you.
It's gone.
You're gonna lose.
Well, no more
everything.
internet either.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You lose
That's
everything.
the whole thing. Is you lose the internet also.
Well, I mean, I don't know if LA controls the internet. but
yeah,
that's
not
a-
LA.
California.
Or California.
California
I don't know if
does.
even California controls the internet.
You'd also have no fruit, no vegetables, nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
No port. You know,
No
try
porn.
shipping everything through
No
fucking
porn.
Washington.
Where are you going to get your porn from?
Well, yeah, without Chatsworth.
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
I like
You lose
Czech
Simi-
porn.
Just
You
the
lose
Czech
Simi
Republic.
Val-
I'm
you
all
get
about
anything,
Slovakia
You get anything
porn.
that's not gangbang porn. If you want anything,
Well, but why would you want anything but? Really? I mean,
What's funny
sometimes
is,
you
yes,
want
I agree
intimate,
with that.
Yeah.
I
really
only-
freaky shit.
I
Yeah.
only watch gangbang.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll watch really intimate, freaky shit. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not so about
Anal
it
fisting. I don't want
anymore.
anal fisting gangbangs.
Yeah, no.
That's like a one-on-one lesbian thing.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't
No.
like anything. I don't like it where anything where women are tied up and shit like that. I
Oh,
just,
okay.
I
Yeah.
do like gangbangs though because growing up, I would be in them a lot. Like, I mean, because I grew up in like a, you know, I hung out with all cholos.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and like,
What
you
is
know,
with the group sex culture?
Because they all have sex with each other in prison too.
Well, we
Yeah.
didn't. Let me just say.
Okay.
No, or
Well-
well, see, this is what pisses me off, though, because that's the same thing. Going back to the Catholic Church thing and to the prison thing and all this stuff. One, been to jail. Two, been to church a bunch of times, even though I'm Jewish, with friends, and roamed the neighborhood. I mean, the parents didn't even care where I was.
Oh, yeah.
I was out at the streets at 3, 4 in the morning. I was sleeping in a park at 14.
Well, you know-
Nobody molested me.
Ever.
Ever.
One, you're Jewish.
No one
and
even
two,
tried.
Really?
it
No
was
creepy old men?
white
No
privilege.
dirty old men?
Not until I got into comedy when I had short hair, and then I had a
Okay.
few guys, like producers, that
When
I
I-
found out were hanging out with me
Oh,
at different
yeah.
times because
Yeah.
they wanted to bang me, or they wanted me to bang them.
Did you
And-
hear Sean's joke
Tell
about
Mo.
his LA mascot? It should be the LA unsupervised children.
You're right, because
that's a good
well,
one.
that stuff's insane with how many kids are being molested every day. Ryan Talmo, welcome, buddy.
Yeah, a recent thing I was reading
Welcome.
about.
Were
was,
were you on Pacific time or
No, just he was
was
late
on
because he was making wonderful
non-specific
sandwiches.
time.
non-specific?
Oh.
I was on the 2,
Oh,
and a lot of old Jews on it. So
Yeah, they drive slow.
sorry about
I
the people.
I had a
people in
teacher who used
wheelchairs?
to go crazy.
A lot of wheelchairs that would drive.
Oh God, I hate that.
bananas.
Do you ever do that though? Do you ever feel bad where
They
you're
should
just
have
like,
their own
well, when
transport.
you
My
look at
zipper's
them,
down. Hello.
and you're like the first one, you try and be cool, like okay, whatever, thank God they have a lift, and then
Yeah.
another one gets on, and you're all fuck.
Yeah,
like come on,
And then
man.
sometimes they'll be like, "We can't even pick you up because it's
Yeah.
like, it's already taken. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous."
There's like 2 of them, and then they go a block in an electric chair,
Yeah.
and you want to kill them.
exactly. You
you
you're
coulda
not even
rolled.
walking it. You're not walking it.
You could have coasted in neutral to where you were going.
I
you
ride
know?
the 2 through
The
downtown,
light? Yeah. Where did I
and
put my light?
like
The
past
Sunset?
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah, like both the 2 and the 4, and like there's on one certain day or a couple certain days, it's always the weekend. There's like the group of old Chinese immigrants who get on the bus, and there's like
And they're shopping.
14
Yeah, they're
plus.
going to shop
and they're
downtown.
shopping
Yeah.
bags,
Yeah.
and it's like, and I mean, it is like half the bus. And then, like, it's crazy how, like, 14
Oh.
little old people
Yeah, they're ready
can
to go.
just take up the space of, like, 40 people.
Or they'll put their
like-
bags everywhere though,
yeah.
and they're mean
Yeah.
as fuck.
But you get
Yeah.
to see the bus evolve from Chinatown all the way to UCLA.
It's
Oh
good.
yeah, to where
How
you go
wealthy
from
it gets.
you go from it being
Drag-
really nice and
drag
clean
queen.
to I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna
Brea.
die.
Yeah.
And it does it go well. You know what's funny is lately because I have a car and everything, I got my license back.
Good
And
for
again,
you.
not DUI, I had registration things, but because I just was having a principle, I was like not gonna pay it, and then I was like, fuck, I need a car because I'm gonna kill myself if I gotta ride the bus every day
Yeah.
again. And so I got a car, so now I do ride the bus a lot still, but it's a different thing because I get on and I kind of look around like, hey, anyone else here by choice?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I am.
I took
you
the
know,
bus the first
and you
year.
feel a little better than them.
Hey
I look
now,
down at
hey
other
now.
people now, and I like it.
Because you have options.
Yeah, because I'm here by choice.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
this aquarium of losers, Jimmy Pidd, by choice. He coined that. It was great, aquarium of losers.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because you're
Jimmy
just
Kidd?
riding like blah, blah. Jimmy Pidd, yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Bidd.
Jimmy Pidd from the
By the way,
country
I
store,
just
yeah.
jumped in. What are you guys talking about? Or
Oh,
did you guys
we're talking
already...
about politics.
Yeah, we were jumping into what I was about to ask you is Barry Sanders. I know you.
Bernie Sanders or Barry Sanders?
No, his brother.
His brother? he
Yeah,
has a
the
brother?
football player.
Oh,
the
wait.
Detroit Lions.
Barry
Yeah.
Sanders?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was
his
saying.
great grandmother
He's
was
related to
black. Yeah,
Dion.
his great grandmother was black. Barry
Donna Barry.
Sanders. No. Okay, so Bernie Sanders. I'm an idiot. Bernie Sanders is got this whole political thing. I'm very unknowledgeable about him. My feeling on the whole thing, though, is what I was saying earlier, is that they're trumping Bernie Sanders because he would have been talked about.
They're marginalizing him as a weirdo? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
They're taking Trump
Okay.
and shutting him down in a sense. It almost seems like everyone's into Trump and no one's into Bernie Sanders except for people apparently who are really researching it and they're like, this dude knows what he's doing.
Well, no, all
he's
the
supposed to be
hipsters
great.
too are on the bandwagon.
Is that what it is?
You know what?
Yeah.
It's
Isn't it Rand
hipsters.
Paul?
It's hipsters, but it's not just that because he does attract. I mean, he
Yuppies.
attracts a certain amount of older voters too.
Yeah,
Because
my dad. Well, maybe my dad. I don't know.
I think he will get a lot of older people because he talks about a lot of issues about job security and unions and people paying
Protecting Social Security.
protecting Social
Yeah,
Security.
big
that's
one.
dying
Because
off.
when you look at the big hot new thing amongst all these Republicans, especially the younger ones, is libertarianism, and they really
Yeah.
want to attack all of these core programs like Social Security and Medicare. And old people are not going to go for that. Like that will not fly in Florida. I know Mark Rubio is.
No, it won't
Wow.
fly anywhere. Like old
Yeah.
people are everywhere. They vote.
Yeah, entitlement
and they're
program.
living
Marty
off
Ross
Social
is
Security
freaking
and
right
Yeah.
Oh,
Medicare.
you know?
I mean,
They need their drugs, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old man. He's Bernie. It's like
Yeah.
everyone
Is
has
everyone
an
smoking
Uncle
right
Ber-
now?
Uncle
Yeah.
Bernie.
Yeah.
Uncle
Well,
Bernie.
but see, that's the thing,
He
and I
needs
think-
to push that Uncle Bernie persona, which is like, I'm looking out for you. I'm your crazy uncle that's going to go yell at the town meeting for you.
Well, then
That's what he is.
Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders is the guy who was a Republican, Vermont Republican, who went independent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
well,
then-
he was a and then-
he's running
Wait,
Republican right now, right?
No,
No,
Democrat.
No, he's Democratic.
I'm sorry.
Democrat.
Why did I think he was
Trump
running?
is Republican, but
Yeah,
the
Trump is
Republicans
Republican.
want him out.
Well, yeah, of course, but to
Trump
me,
is actually fascist party, but that's
well, no, but see, here's the thing: is with Trump, because what he said he says things completely off, except for the fact that there is truth in everything he's saying. He's just so ignorant in the way he says it, and yet, funny enough, his ignorance is what's catching people, not the actual truth behind what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, and it's you look at it. If you actually talk to anyone who's ever worked with Donald Trump, not a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about him. I mean, and the things that he's done over the years. I mean, if you take it all together, it's
Yeah.
just that people have a lot of collective amnesia, and I think they look at what's the latest quote from him, and they don't look at his whole
That's-
history and what he's done.
Well, it's the fads. It's who's hot right now. That's how we actually live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even on Facebook, where we should literally be changing the world with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and YouPorn. All these things should be changing the world. And yet what we're doing is we're running fads, we're doing memes, we're doing little funny sayings. We're still putting stuff that go black people be like, and you're like, really? Really? Why? Why is this going on?
Bitches
Well, it's
be
because
like.
where
Bitches
people
be like.
Well, it's because where people get their content from. Like, I think Rachel Maddow was talking about this, like the need for like research and reporters that are on the scene. And what we're getting is a lot of shitty information and speech bullets from like CNN, and people will recycle it on different websites, and they'll be like, "I heard it on this thing." It's like they got it from a reporter in that area who's talked to CNN or something. It's like we're getting kind of not as good reporting, and I think that's
Yeah.
what it creates is this sort of
modern
filtered down
journalism.
thing.
Come on, seriously.
Well, they reach out
it's
to
like
the
the
lowest-
biggest joke in the world.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's terrible.
It's gotten horrible.
Yeah.
Well, they reach to the lowest common denominator in anything. Everyone, if you notice, and now the joke's always been that they go to the craziest black person, but it's not true. They go to the craziest person, whatever
Yeah.
race is there. Because it's always like some white dude going, well, I don't think they should be here. But then there's
You damn
100
it,
white
I-
people behind him that don't feel that way and have an intelligent outlook, but they're like, nope, that dude.
Yeah.
And then, they
Yeah,
get the black
Pate's
person who's
face.
like, I saw it all. I saw everything. And you're just
Yeah.
like, but there's, again, the Harvard graduate black dude right behind her who's like, I would really like to say something on this. And they're like, fuck no.
Yeah.
You are not going to talk, sir.
Well, the problem is news is a narrative, and it's harder to tell a narrative when there's shades of gray, and you need to get heroes and enemies and all that, and that's not the truth. And so people are always getting a filtered down narrative. It's too confusing for people to actually tell them what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because we create, well, again, because, like I said earlier, and even in the political thing, like none of these politics, this whole situation, and I'm bringing it up again because it really bothers me. It bothers me because it could be my daughter, but it bothers me that nobody still is doing anything about Sandra Bland.
Yeah.
The woman hung herself in a prison, supposedly, which did not happen. She was murdered. It's obvious. She had no reason to do any of this, but there's no major investigation. Now, where's Obama to do something, to say something about this?
Yeah.
But no, because you know why? Oh, this won't cause race riots, so we don't want that.
Yeah. Is there a
You know?
thing where people seem to latch more on stories of black young men getting killed?
Right.
Because
White
they see
kid-
them as more victims of the system than
In-
black women.
in-
White
I
kid
think
shot
that-
to death
plus
over
I think
a
it's-
bag of weed.
Yeah.
Well, plus I think it's like the evidence in the Sandra Bland case is much more nuanced, and it's
Yeah.
not as simple. I mean, I
There's not a
never
good
understood.
videotape.
It's a lot more
Well, I
messy.
never understood how, like, when the Oscar Grant thing happened, they fucking killed him point blank on camera. Like,
Yeah.
you saw it from like 9 different angles.
Yeah.
And
Well-
somehow that dude only got 11 months in prison.
But I watch cops, and they're constantly have video surveillance within the holding cells.
Yeah.
Unless there's a restroom area, they
Yeah.
don't do it.
Well,
But
the
other than
camera's
that-
fucked up.
But there's cameras. But this is what I'm
But-
saying, though. For the Sandra Bland thing, there were no cameras.
there was no cameras at the critical point.
Yeah.
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 That's what I'm saying. So this whole thing
Turned
should
off.
just be like wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now, here's the thing. Everyone in, what is it, Missouri?
Whatever.
Where's the Michael Brown? Ferguson.
America.
Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone there needs to pack up their shit that's protesting and go destroy this place and this police station and go protest and even riot. Who cares? Because I'll say this. Now you have somebody who was murdered by the police, who has no record, who's done nothing wrong, and you can stand strong behind this and get as crazy as you want because nobody can say karma. Nobody can say, well, they shouldn't have. She shouldn't have. All she didn't want to do was put out her cigarette. And as an American in a place like Texas that pretends to be so free, you have that right to not put out your cigarette.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what people don't understand about the rights of the police force, which is the
Yep.
police force is basically there to act in response to crimes. And what the police take on their role as is they can at any point intervene in your life and be an officer of that you have to follow all of their commands, and that's not what their role is.
No.
Yeah.
And they can't rightfully do that.
No, it's not their position. I think more of the problem is with all the situation that's going on now is it just encourages more criminality because people feel more entitled to say fuck the law and fuck this enforcement of this, which is just going to lead to more police intervention. I think that's the bigger problem. But in general, I think Frontline did a good piece about this a few years ago, which was a death investigation in America. And there's lots of cases where, like, there was a girl in New Orleans who got arrested, white girl.
Yeah.
She was asthmatic. They tied her down.
Yeah.
And
Killed her.
she died.
Yeah.
She
I
had,
mean,
she had an asthma attack.
But people
And-
don't know it goes on
and they
every
cover
day.
it up. They
Yeah.
don't understand it goes on every day. Death investigation in America is so fucked up. And coroners are elected in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
elect a coroner? That
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
make any
right.
sense.
And they write what they want, and they
It's
do
a
it for
political
statistics.
office.
And they've
Yeah.
already shown that cities play down the murders and play down everything statistically for different reasons, whether it be for better, even all the way down to stupid things like better houses, better house pricing.
Yeah.
By not having the crime statistics.
Yeah.
But and then it goes as deep as
And that's
to
why
what
they redlined people
Well,
and
it goes
kept
as
them out of
deep as to
housing.
what we were talking about before, which was the rap music, the private prisons, the investors creating gangster rap music to create criminals. But now
Yeah,
it's
to
but now it's
encourage-
coming
to
out.
encourage a culture
Yeah.
of criminality.
But now it's coming out,
Correct.
and people laughed at me when I said that, and I've been saying it forever. That gangster rap was a setup. That it created criminals out of people who are never criminals, gangsters out of people who would have never been
It
gangsters.
glorified a criminal. It's
Yeah.
the same thing I'm talking about with the police. I think, in a sense, when you say that white record labels didn't want to get onto like groups like Arrested Development or
Yeah.
something that are conscious hip hop, or that hip hop that celebrates other areas of life aside from just creating crime,
Yeah.
or even more hip hop that's conscious in that it talks about crime but is
Yeah.
more critical of it. It celebrated this culture. What better way to marginalize black young men than to associate them all with a criminal lifestyle?
Yeah.
But again, this came from, and what we don't know is, were they the first people hit up, or was the hip hop,
Or
say
did
the people
they hit
running
up
hip hop,
Public Enemy?
were they the ones willing to do it in that sense? Because they could have gone to different musics. The story behind it all, the letter was that there was a meeting. And so the whole thing, and that the whole thing was a setup that, look, we're going to do this, da-da-da. And it took the people who were running the music, which were predominantly black, to do this, to then make it happen. Now the investors go international. So it's not a group of white people doing this. It's an international group of people setting this whole thing up, all the way down from Arabs to Jews and everywhere in between, that are making money off of this, and we're a part of it. And so when we start looking at things like that, and that's why I say with Facebook,
Yeah.
we should end race and start coming together to where we're changing the world, not still talking about race, not still fighting. Michael Brown should have been a victim, just a victim, a male victim who was wrongfully killed. That's
Yeah.
all. Well, him being black should be irrelevant. They should go after it with the equal vigor that they would anything else, to just, okay, this is a crime. These police need to go to jail and pay for what they did.
Yeah.
Simple. But they make it a race thing because that's what works and
If
sells.
you-
Well, it distracts from the police state too.
Yeah.
Hey, like the more you make it a race thing, the more it distracts from the fact that they've just declared martial law, and we are living under like corporal fascism. And that's like the thing. As long as you just highlight race, don't pay attention to the fascism that we're building over here.
Well, and
Yeah.
then well, see,
Yeah.
we're looking all at this, and we're getting all up in a roar, and we're all separating. And there was a thing with the Black Lives Matters, and they were protesting, and there was this one hillbilly-looking kind of that long hair that goes to here and is like greasy and raggedy.
Yeah.
He's got a bullhorn and he's yelling at them and being racial and all this stuff. Now, all I was the whole time I'm watching this video, I'm just thinking, please nobody hit him. Like nobody hit him, nobody touched him, and he just looked like the biggest piece of shit ever. And they all looked like they were totally professional. They had their goal. That's what they were sticking to. But my God, why does this guy have to exist? Shoot him. Shoot him.
me,
Don't
man.
riot. Kill this
Shoot me.
motherfucker and let's move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
You know?
Well,
But what makes somebody in this day and age want to go do that? The guy owns a restaurant there.
Well,
Why do
no,
you
it's
wanna
so
do that?
deeply ingrained in their culture.
Yeah, it's
that they. I
unbelievable
mean,
to
it's
me.
not even a question. It's like, who would believe? I mean, this is like still the Bible Belt too. So there's a lot of people who like they love to accept the fact that the Earth is 6,000 years old.
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
buy. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and it's a thing, and like they just.
Yeah,
they
well, we want to pretend that
totally
the
Yeah.
Indians
buy
were
it.
native. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I
Well-
mean, and the first people here.
Well, I think part of the problem with the tension that exists right now is that we talk about making it all racial and not talking about class and economics and everything. Is that the most frustration you see in white people in America tends to people who are at the lowest bottom of the barrel,
Yep.
people who don't have anything. They're the ones the white people who get the most seemingly upset about this stuff because they feel like they have stuff in their background that's keeping them down. My parents were poor, my grandparents were poor, I live in this shitty area, and they feel like they don't get to use that as an excuse, or they don't get to protest, or they don't get to complain in the same way that black people do. I think that they don't see themselves as being heard. They were like, well, if I were black, I'd be getting all these opportunities, and
I
people would be
hear that
handing
so
things
That's
to
the
me.
thing that
You know, and
happens-
it's that sort of tension where they don't realize that what they need to attack is the economic system. They just want to pull down that one person they see as like
Yep.
slightly above them.
Well, but
Or
that's-
it's going
that's-
into
No, it's like
identity
crabs
politics.
in
No, no, I
crabs
like
in a
that.
pail. It's
that's
crabs in a
happening
pail.
though.
Yeah.
If
It's
the
totally
crabs-
right.
You know, the
And-
whole thing about crabs trying to get out. One of them will
Yeah.
be about to get out, and the other ones will pull it down.
Yeah.
Well, and they even do that for NA, the drug addicts, in the
Yeah.
hell. And the reason
Yeah.
they don't have a pitchfork is because if one tries to escape, the others pull them down. And the beauty, though, is it goes both ways because you hear a lot of black people talking about white privilege. You hear a lot of white people talking about, oh, if I was black. A lot of people talking about, oh, if I was Mexican, I get everything. Da 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 da.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And so here's the thing: if everyone stopped for a second and went, oh my God, you mean you're dealing with the same shit I am?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, wait a second. You're dealing with that same shit, and you are too? So wait, what do we all have in common? Oh, we're all poor. Okay, wait a
Yeah.
second. So there is somewhat of a ceiling, and a few of us do get through, but there's really not a lot set up for us to succeed. Fuck all this. Okay, people are keeping things from us. Let's all get together and change it. And I've never, I totally get what you're saying because so many people are like that, where they're like, oh, it's them. And I never grew up with that. I never ever thought, and it was tried to be put in my head by people, oh, they get extra points. They get it. Okay, yes, they do get extra points on federal fucking jobs and state jobs that are paid with taxes.
Yeah.
So we want to make it equal, since they weren't allotted the education at a certain time.
Yeah.
So we're going to let them come in at an equal rate, not a higher rate, an equal
Yeah.
rate. And if you have a restaurant there, you know who you can hire? Any motherfucker you want. You don't have to hire someone who's black. You don't have to do this. But if you want federal money,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
And
the problem is like why don't we as a group, like everyone's saying like I could have gone to this college if I didn't have this or that. It's like why are we as a whole people struggling so much to get access to things like good education?
Right.
Yeah.
Why are we all
Medicine, good education.
or decent paying
a
jobs?
decent house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
if
are
you're
we
poor,
all-
you're offered DeVry.
Yeah.
I
Why are
mean,
we
you
all
know.
competing against each other so much for these things that seem like they should be basics to life?
Yeah.
And people are getting all like up
And then
onto
that's the
each
thing,
other.
like you were saying about bringing people together who are poor and having people notice. I think the idea of poverty is so, it's so fictionalized
Yes.
to us. Like, it's like you're poor if you're this. You can't make 6 figures as a couple and be relatively poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that is a douchey thing. That's supposedly a douchey thing to say.
Yeah.
But it's like to have a house and 2 cars and a couple kids in LA.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you gotta make huge money, and
you
you're
gotta
always-
make $250,000 a year.
When
Yeah.
you're always
Yeah,
on
have
the
your
verge of
kid-
being
And
broke.
don't ever get divorced.
Yeah.
And don't
Or
ever
don't lose
get
your job.
sick. And
No.
don't
Yeah.
ever lose
Yeah.
your job. And
No.
don't ever get in a car
Nope.
crash.
Yeah.
And
Well-
don't ever have anything bad happen to you and you'll be fine.
Somebody identified me as a poor person because I ride Metro.
Well, yeah.
Whereas
So
if you
many
lived in
people
New
ride
York,
Metro.
you would just be a person.
Yeah.
A person, yeah. But 'cause I don't have a car and I depend on a bus and a train to get me around
Out
this
here in
town.
California, it's how it's
I'm
looked at.
considered
That's
poor.
the shame, and that's the culture that's so stupid. Is people still in this country feel a lot of shame about poverty, like it's a personal failure or it's you just screwed up or something. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's a fucking illusion. That's a fairy tale that we told people that the only people who are poor are people who
fuck up in their lives, or people who are total assholes and they fuck up all the time. Yeah.
No, yeah,
people
there's-
don't get that there's a economic level, and you can't really get too far past it in certain situations. And if you want to do something that matters, you're going to end up not making a lot.
Yeah.
It's also the Reaganomics too.
Well,
But
the whole construction of this
Because
country
that's
financially
it's
is
now
Reaganomics.
finally bubbling
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Well, the
And
reason
people-
the bus sucks is Reaganomics.
Oh yeah, well,
You
well,
know,
yeah,
and
well, they're,
Well,
they're all.
well, the thing is, when
Yeah.
he shut down the mental institutions, where do you think these people went? So who do you think you're riding
Yeah.
the bus with? People that should be in institutions.
Yeah.
And I don't mean imprisoned.
No,
I mean
no.
open wide
Mental health.
institutions.
got to
Yeah.
be taken care of.
Where they're being helped.
Well, it's also the issue of that's the culture though in LA that supports that. Is people in LA say, "Oh, the bus is only for what this other marginalized group of people, so we don't have to ever have to pay attention to the bus or any public service."
Yeah.
Because to need public services, that's beneath me. And it's like, you live in a city. You should be pushing for this. You should realize that the idea of everyone owning a car and using a car every day and parking it everywhere, that doesn't make sense for everybody. It's never going to make sense.
It's
for
never,
everybody.
yeah, and it also actually hurts. It does hurt the
It
economy
hurts
in a
the
way.
city.
So it
Hurts
does.
the city. That's why there's so much traffic in LA. They did a study and they found out that the whole reason there's too much traffic in LA is because there's actually too much parking. It's too easy for people to drive here short distances.
Yeah.
And that if it were like New York, or something, people would say, "I can't drive there. I can't park there." Blah blah blah. They would just take
It'd be
public
$12
transit.
to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Just to park at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that,
So
though-
that whole system is insane, and we need to look at that.
Well, now what they want to do though is they want to take lanes on Laurel Canyon and different major streets,
Yeah.
and just make them for buses and bikes.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
now, okay, yes, if this was 1970 or 80, totally.
Yeah.
But you got a billion cars. You need
Well,
to.
they fucked it over.
Yeah,
But there's
you-
a theory
you've gone too far.
that, like in critical mass theory, there's this theory that, like, the more you make the roads and you take away the roads from people,
Yeah.
the more they'll say, "Fuck this, I ain't driving
Yeah.
no more."
They're trying to
I
push
mean,
for that.
I don't drive, and
But what
it
do
was
you do
by
with,
choice.
But what
No
do you do with all the
DUI,
people
whatever.
commuting? What do you do with all the people commuting?
They find a fucking way. You get a bus.
You build a
I
commuter rail.
commuted
You
to
build a
fuck-
commuter rail. You build a bus.
Well,
I
and see, that's the
commuted
thing.
to
A commuter
Agoura
rail.
Hills.
You need a commuter rail.
I did Agoura Hills from Echo Park for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Jesus.
like that's a fucking trek.
a
but
trek, yeah.
There was
How do
a
they even
special
connect?
bus.
I know,
No,
Yeah.
there's a commuter.
How long did it
express.
take you?
It was actually about as good as my car.
Really?
Yeah.
Most days
Makes
it was
sense.
just as good as the car.
think about it,
and that dropped me off like down the way by a Starbucks out in the middle of fucking Agoura Hills, and I had to have a bike with me, or I mean I could walk, but you know.
Yeah.
It pushes you. It makes you get creative.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
and people don't think that way. I did a show in San Diego a couple weeks ago where
Yeah.
I was dropped off at a train station the next morning, and I took 2 trains, a subway, and a bus, and it took me right to my house. It took me 4 hours, and everyone's like, "That's a long time." Like that's how long it would take if you drove.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
far is San Diego? I thought San Diego was about 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
If you-
if
yeah, there's no traffic.
Yeah, no traffic. I think it just depends on, and it's also what kind of culture you want to make. How different would LA be if you took like a quarter of the people off the road and put them in a train and they read a fucking book every day?
Yeah.
Oh
Well, yeah.
Or they
change their
listen to,
lives.
or they
But
listen
then-
to a podcast, or they did some fucking knitting and chilled out instead of getting into work all like, all.
But then you got to make the
psycho.
train a place where one, it's accessible to time, that it equals a car.
Yeah.
Also, where you're not constantly feeling like someone's gonna stab you all the fucking
But
time.
And it doesn't smell like piss.
But that
Yeah,
will
that's
change
another
too
thing.
if they actually have a bigger ridership, because then they'll put more cops down there.
Yeah,
they'll
they should
actually
have, they
keep it
should
more
have
clean.
like 2 cops on every train.
maybe clean.
Because they'll keep it clean. Oh shit, we have like 1 million people going this a day. Let's
Yeah.
keep
Lysol.
let's clean this. It has to
Yeah.
have a roll every 5 minutes, not every fucking
Yeah.
20.
Well, clean and like I say, make it safe. Like I almost ended up stabbing some dude the other day because I'm with my fucking daughter, and this dick just wants to be a dick because he hates me for
Yeah.
being the Aryan fucking KKK
Aryan.
member I am, even though I'm with my half black daughter and I'm a Jew.
Yeah.
But he already
You
decided.
should really get a very large Star of David medallion so people have an easier time.
I got it tattooed on
No,
my
you
chest.
should get it.
He's
Sure.
got a
I have a
Jewish
tattoo on
tattoo.
my
I
chest,
know,
yeah.
I know. You
It'd
should
be
show
super
that.
Yeah.
ironic when he doesn't
You
get
need a
buried
window.
in the Jewish
Yeah.
cemetery.
Well, no, they
Check that
have
out.
to now.
Oh.
Yeah, for
You know
years
what I mean?
since the Holocaust, they bury people.
Oh, that's
But it's
good.
the problem of the culture tells us that that's a bad way to live, or that's a downtrodden or a
Yeah.
poor way to live to take public transit, and that's just
and it's
No,
not.
that's stupid.
It's
because
outdated.
It's so
It's
accessible.
fun.
to have a car is outdated.
Yeah.
And that's what even like Uber, like the guy who runs who's the CEO of Uber, he was saying that he wants driverless cars because
Mm-hmm.
this whole idea, when we look into the future, we look back at now, we think about the fact of how much time and money we invested into owning a car and maintaining a car,
Mm-hmm.
and how much time you actually spend in it.
Oh yeah.
It would seem it's ludicrous, you know, and we're
Yeah.
going to look back on it as like, what were we thinking, that we were all going to have our own car? Like, it's silly.
And I think it works for a lot of people, and especially in the sense, like you were saying, being able to read a book or being able to do something. Me personally, I have injuries that prevent me from sitting on most buses,
Yeah.
so I stand the whole fucking way. It's like walking.
Yeah.
But for many people, you can sit on the train. You could do this if they added trains as opposed to buses.
Yeah.
Had a subway system that was accessible to more of the county.
Yeah.
Then totally it would
Yeah.
change everything.
Yeah.
But they're doing a bullet train to the middle of
No,
fucking
it's
Garlicville.
getting. Hold on, wait. It's getting there because the Expo line's getting.
way to Santa
extended
Monica.
Down to Santa Monica.
To the
That's
promenade.
huge,
Yeah.
right? And then the
Purple Line
Purple Line is
stays
going
in
to
Beverly Hills.
Westwood.
No, they don't. Beverly Hills doesn't want it.
Yeah, no, they said no
See, now
blacks.
that
Well, they
should
didn't say
be-
no blacks directly, but that's
Yeah,
what they meant.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
They're
that's
saying
what they
it's-
meant.
They did white flight for a
Yeah.
reason. They're
Yeah.
like, we live here for a
Yeah.
reason because it's
Actually-
not near there.
in Pomona, I know this statistic from way back, but like in Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona, the car thefts actually go up, increase over time with the bus arrivals, with the times,
Really?
the time schedules of the bus arrivals.
Oh, that's
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Someone did a study on that.
The cops.
Oh, okay, I thought
My
this
mother,
was students
my mother
did a
was
study. I'm
My
like,
mother
oh,
worked
God.
for them. My mom was a pig.
Yeah.
That's funny, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an old mom statistic of mine. Like, crazy, mom, really? Yeah.
So
they-
every hour by the hour there was
like there, well,
cars were
just when
stolen.
certain buses would arrive, there'd be rash of car burglaries. And it wasn't necessarily car
Certain
theft.
times, certain
it's like,
buses coming from certain
burglars.
places.
yeah, because certain buses come
But
from
they're
certain
getting-
neighborhoods. Like Pomona's a shithole,
Yeah.
a gangster shithole.
Yeah.
In a lot of parts. I mean, you still get shot going along like 13th Street.
Oh, yeah. Which is
all the
funny because
time.
it's Pomona, 13th Street.
Yeah. But you know,
There used to be horses there like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, it's not that people are stupid or responsible for crimes against them, but when people have a certain sense of safety, like I remember my dad used to just leave his wallet in his car
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
And
See.
people when they have an idea that they live in a safe space, they really don't do that much to prevent it. Like with their shit getting stolen, or it's weird. You know?
and
but they don't
also the
expect
cops
Well, we're in an
are
economy
too busy
that doesn't
fucking
work
around
for
killing
that,
black
yeah.
men
Yeah.
to actually like drive through the parking lot and look for people breaking into cars.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't be doing that. They'd be sitting on the side of the road waiting
Yeah.
for someone to harass.
Yeah.
rather
Or
Yeah.
doing a
than
sting operation
actually-
online for
yeah.
someone who wants to buy cocaine or something.
Yeah, something bullshit rather than actually policing. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it comes back to like that's where the police issue fucks us all
Yeah.
because not only is it like a threat that you can be killed at any time
Yeah.
by a police officer and it's cool. They can get away with it. They can kill any of us.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime, any of us in this room, absolutely, they can kill us all.
No need for a
And
warrant.
No one, and none of our parents are rich and powerful enough to
Yeah.
to be able to get them actually there. Because
And sometimes even if they
can-
are, it doesn't matter.
Well, no,
Yeah.
no, they're not rich and powerful.
Well, powerful
enough.
is the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like they can kill Bill Cosby's kid. I'm sure they could have got away with that. They'd get away with killing any black celebrity's kid.
Yeah.
you know.
Wasn't
And
the Russian mafia that killed?
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah, but whatever. I
Just
mean,
so we remember
they
that Bill
could kill- let
Cosby's
me
son
just
got
say, they
killed
could
because
kill Will
obviously
Smith
he's a
and get
creep.
away with
It was a carjacking, right?
No,
His son?
now this
What
is the
happened?
breakdown.
drive-by,
though. Okay,
almost.
Mulholland,
Yeah.
Russian carjackers.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of them. And I'm not saying no Russians ever stole a car. I'm just saying Russian carjackers that happened.
Although, what kind of car was it?
But no, wait. But who happened to be there at the time when he broke down?
Okay.
And then they killed him. Now, my theory and what we've talked about on the show is Cosby's kid was killed for the same reason Jordan's dad was killed, in that they fucked over the wrong people. Cosby probably raped some Russian Jew lady. Then there you go, dog. You lose
Yeah.
your son. And they let him live with that. Instead of killing him, it's the living with your son being dead.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you kill your family.
Yeah.
They'll
That's-
kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not entirely insane to me. I mean, it's weird. I was recently reading a lot more about the Michael Jackson thing, and now looking back on it, I've become nearly entirely convinced that Michael Jackson, in the 2005 case, never molested that kid.
A lot of people are saying that didn't really molest kids, that it was a setup against him to whatever. But
I
yeah.
don't think it was an orchestrated conspiracy. I think it was looking at it. It's weird because